fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do eat no money, what people at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss you, we eat the yellow rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste no must a man to start you. Say me like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take the spit of money, girl, and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up him, I got up too much. Eat in the kitchen, some of fly like a pot too. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me,
300% free.
it burn me,
Garbage pile of the day.
it burn me,
Give the teacher them
it
raise.
burn me,
I see corruption
it
cease.
burn me,
Mash down the people them house.
it burn me,
Every day appear arms out.
it burn me,
Appear money them a thief.
it burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in a whatever. Member bowl only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them smell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like people themselves.
It burn me,
Or they treat the market man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the cat man.
it burn me,
Or they treat the peanut man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the dirt man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the son man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat policeman.
it burn me,
How them a treat soldier man.
it burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't.
Sorry about that.
Stibbidim day, stibbidim day, stibbidim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep. And some informer friend we lovely. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona thief. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, and welcome. Sorry for the late start. Good morning to those on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Welcome. My slide is not quite ready yet on YouTube. It will come up shortly. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning. It's Friday, the 25th of October. Beat and teach. Good morning. Good morning. Real sweet. Will it done? Michael Nepper, Marcia Thomas. Agency Driver 5, Colleen Jones, Veteran, Wagwan, Deb, Violet Watson. Good morning, Karen, Colleen Jones, rather. Morning. Like and share the live for us, please, because we have a few things. Morning, Miss Morris, how are you? Morning. We have a few things to get through this morning and one of the things we're going to do, we're going to remind the Prime Minister. I don't know what's happening to my slide this morning. Bear with. It should come up soon because it have my discussions on my slide. And I have some videos that we're going to go through this morning as well, because we are going to remind the Prime Minister of the statement he made in Parliament on the 17th of September. Because that statement made by the Prime Minister was a lie. And we're going to remind the Prime Minister that coming out here and telling us that you remember the SSL saga and all sort, but somehow you can't remember how your business them run and the mix up you in a with for your business them, but you remember quite well about SSL Jason Kane. Wagwan. I'm trying to find back the Prime Minister's statement because we're going to go back there this morning. We're going to go back there this morning with the integrity, the statement of the Prime Minister after the Integrity Commission report, because the Prime Minister lied. And the Prime Minister continued to lie about Finsac. Is either going to publish the Finsac report, make we see we're in there, or going to stop tell the lie. What is happening to my slide this morning? Bear with my people. Bear with. But the Prime Minister, let's start on the Prime Minister, Christine Gilbert, how are you? Let's start on the Prime Minister with a statement he made in relation to Finsac. Because the Prime Minister regularly lied to the nation. So we are going to listen to a statement, Abinasa Cody Lawrence Wood, Sharon Bernard, that the Prime Minister made on the Finsac issue. And then we will come back to the Prime Minister's statement. Because
you to appreciate that when I tell you that I shudder to think what could happen, it is because I lived through Finsac and I saw people suffering as a result. I saw what happened, how the entrepreneurial class was totally destroyed, wiped out. Not only by bad economic policies related to how banks were regulated, but it was also destroyed because it created a false notion that investing in government paper was really investing. It created what I call a lazy set of entrepreneurs. And it is that lazy set of entrepreneurs who now want to come around the country. It created a class of people who believe that buying government paper was actually creating wealth. We must never allow that notion to return in our country. Because right now we have created, this government, this administration has properly established what it means to be an entrepreneur and to create wealth. People now have to go and invest in real wealth, in real business. There is no mystery as to why it is, as the Jamaica Labour Party come in, the unemployment rate moved from as high as 13% to now 4.2. You know why? Because investors now have to do real investment that employ people. They have to invest in the real economy. And government borrowing is not crowding out real investment. These are some of the fundamental changes that have happened in our country. That sometimes the ordinary man, yes, worry about his salary and all the other issues which are important issues. But in order for us to address the issues that are bothering you now, the pain points, we have to change these fundamental issues. the bad roads, the lack of water, the poor public transportation. All of these issues did not happen overnight. They happened because we had a government that neglected the fundamentals, what I call, the best way to describe it is voodoo economics, smoke and mirrors economics, creating a false sense of wealth through high interest rates. And that is why I'm so fearful when I see those persons who benefited from that era of Jamaica's economic history to come now to talk when they didn't make their wealth by hard-nosed investing. They made their wealth simply by being connected, simply by a government policy that says, I will just take your money and give you back 10-20% on it. You don't have to do anything. And they call that investing. All that meant is that the poor people who paid their taxes, that tax that you pay went to pay them, who started out already with money in their hand. And that is why their own member of parliament had to speak the truth, that the economic policy of their government was nothing more than the greatest transfer
And the Holy Spirit said all of that. Andrew Holness really said all of that. And I can guarantee you, based on the amount of lies that this Prime Minister regularly tells, him believe with himself a little while. Even though the Prime Minister could not remember that the account his mother and father opened for him when he was a baby, even though the Prime Minister was, my slide, Siaga, obia me this morning, because Siaga, the palm slide, the American Duppy. The American Duppy don't want me slide if you come in a studio this morning, but Siaga, it will come in, because if I hide, you hide. Like how you never remember how much million US where you borrow and where you get bailout for. We not talk about where the cross them run off with for the people them under them Eagle group, them time there. We still take almost 200 million of our money spend on Finsac to create a report, and still come and don't give away a report and still come in a public with the propaganda about who benefit from Finsac and who don't benefit. Let's listen to a snippet of the conversation between Colin Bell and Ralston Hyman on the SSL
the DNA of SSL for me. Can you?
Well, one of the biggest contributors to the financial meltdown was the Eagle Group. Yeah? SSL was formerly what we call Paul Senior and Company. That was the stockbroking arm of the Eagle Group. You with me? Yeah? The man who used to run SSL, Mr. Crofterry, he was the man who was running Paul Senior and Company, the stockbroking arm of the Eagle Group. So that's where it came from. They went down with 14 billion and change for the taxpayer.
That is in the Finsac era.
40 billion Finsac money that we're talking about. So then amount was $14 billion.
14 million.
Billion.
And if we equate that today to today's money,
that would be like 50 billion now.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Real money we're talking about, because back in the day, the dollar was better valued.
Yeah, man.
So the DNA of SSL come from down there, sir?
Yeah, man, from the Eagle Group.
The bloodline.
Yeah, man.
Billions. The same SSL them were run off with bold money were there. Billions in the Finsac meltdown, in the economic meltdown, because Finsac was put in place, as it was explained, as a bounce back to the economic collapse of the JLP in the 80s to prevent the Jamaica economy from collapsing. Let's talk about how much Siaga never remember, 40 million or whatever US. Him never remember about. The cross-craze who run off with Bolt money where they. My slide cannot come into my studio. What Siaga do to me this morning? The cross-craze them will run off with Bolt money where they benefited from that economic meltdown in the billions. Audley Shaw benefited. Ralston Hyman, the chief financial analyst in our country, said none of the People's National Party members who are currently sitting in the parliament did not benefit. Doesn't mean that previous People's National Party members did not benefit who are not in the parliament. No. But he said current members of the Jamaica Labour Party sitting in the parliament now benefited from Finsac after them run off with the people their money in the economic crash in the 80s leading up to the 90s. So who would believe Andrew Holness when Andrew Holness come and tell us how much he remembered of what happened to the economy then? If you can't even remember what is going on in your bank accounts and in your business currently, but you remember what happened to Finsac. Why did you all prevent us from getting a report? My slide is just playing up. Why wanna prevent us from seeing the report? Or if a report was not prepared by the commission, why wanna destruct the commission or defund the commission before a report was produced? But let's listen to the same Prime Minister who just tell with all the things what he remember about Finsac. Let's listen to the lying statement made by Andrew Holness on the 17th of September after the statutory declaration was tabled, which him claim in a parliament in sit down and hear it, but him come with a full written speech, tailored respond to different parts of the report, but him never see it before the 17th.
I'll have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your permission, and thank you, members, for your indulgence. Mr. Speaker, on Thursday, September 5th, 2024, the Integrity Commission submitted an investigation report, ruling, and special report to Parliament concerning an investigation into my statutory declarations for the year 2021. The reports have now been tabled, and I have since had a chance to read the concluding paragraphs of the ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution, the 5-page summary, and peruse the recommendations and conclusions, while acknowledging that the report together totals just under 200 pages. The parts that I have read appear to give a sufficient sense. First, I welcome the fact that the report is finally tabled 2 years since this process began. I also take note of the fact that the Commission tabled both the report and the ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution at the same time. The last time this was not done. Based on what is said in the summary, queries were triggered because it is alleged that I had omitted bank accounts from my declarations, and one of these accounts was incorrectly reported as a US dollar balance by a financial institution. These matters were cleared as the accounts in question, by my recollection, were dormant, previously reported, and the balance in them were around Jamaican $3,000 and 200 euros. Subsequently, my declarations were once again referred for further scrutiny for accuracy and completeness. Other accounts were identified and alleged to be belonging to me, but undeclared. Some of these accounts were opened by my parents as far back as 1975, and my name later added, probably while I was still a child. Many Jamaicans add their children to their accounts for survivorship reasons and in the event of emergencies. I have never claimed these as my assets, and I am satisfied that the Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled that there was insufficient evidence to support claims that I intentionally omitted bank accounts from my declarations, and that there is greater evidence to support my explanation as opposed to evidence to the contrary. I also note that no other matter in the report was referred to the authorized authority, that is, the Director of Corruption Prosecution. The summary of the report outlined that my personal financial affairs from 2018 to 2023 was examined, including associate private third-party businesses and transactions. Over 3,600 transactions were examined, 28 bank accounts, over 80 witness statements collected. This effort to pursue me and my affairs led to the hiring of an international forensic accounting examiner for 6 months. As far as I'm aware, only my 2021 declaration was submitted for investigation. After this most thorough interrogation of my personal affairs, which is not in any way connected to public funds or a benefit resulting from my office, they were unable to conclude regarding illicit enrichment. Nonetheless, they concluded that in one of the 5 years they examined, 2022, there was unexplained growth in my net worth of 1.9 million Jamaican dollars, or less than 1% of my total net assets. I reject this finding.
Andrew Holness forget so much. Me slide in my studio now. Andrew Holness forget so much. when it comes to film business that he was and has been operating since Finsac. Just when you saw before SSL crash, SSL drop money, fly over the chain wash pan and drop money in for the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister never remember them something there, but the Prime Minister thinks he remember the Finsac era because him lived through it. But the Prime Minister, the doctor, study for whatever Andrew Holness, don't even remember his very own financial affairs. Hang on.
Based on materiality and significance. And while I have not had a chance to fully review the specifics of their calculations, just a cursory review of their formula, I have seen an error in figures they have used in their calculations. And therefore, I challenge this finding on incorrect use.
The DNA of SSL for me, can you?
Well, one of the biggest contributor to the financial meltdown was the Eagle Group. Yeah? SSL was formerly what we call Paul Senior and Company. That was the stockbroking arm of the Eagle Group. You with me? Yeah? The man who used to run SSL, Mr. Cross Terry, he was the man who was running Paul Senior and Company, the stockbroking arm of the Eagle Group. So that's where it came from. They went down with 14 billion and change for the taxpayer.
That is in the Finsac era.
40 billion Finsac money that we're talking about. They to them amount was $14 million.
14 million.
Billion.
And if we equate that today to today's money,
that would be like 50 billion now.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Real money we're talking about, because
Real
back in the day, the dollar was better valued.
Yeah, man.
So the DNA of SSL come from down there, sir.
Yeah, man, from the Eagle Group.
The bloodline.
Yeah, man.
Talk about SSL. Talk about what Siaga benefited from Finsac, what Siaga never remember. Remember, the Siaga family is one of the 21 private sector organization family that runs our country. The Siaga family, who borrow billions of US dollars when never remember, is one of the 21 white family that runs our country. One of that 21 white family the other day, who tell we say emancipation and independence is too much for us to celebrate separately. They Airy Master Picnic wants to lump it into one weekend, and we have one weekend because we the slaves are slowing down the economy of the slave master. Yes, I saw them come tell we. Siaga is one of those family, one of those who benefited massively from Finsac. That's what the Jamaica Labour Party should be talking to the country about. Talking to the country about the nearly 200 million spent. And all no care come give we out our money was spent is a crocus bag of document and tell we say we read through it ourselves and find out what in there if we want to know. So when Andrew Holness take podium and a lie over Finsac, be honest about everybody will benefit out of Finsac if you cannot produce the report. If you cannot produce the report, talk about what Siaga benefit as well. Talk about what Adley Shaw benefit as well. Talk about what the Crossgraves under their Eagle group benefited then. Them same one was still run off with millions for Bolt and other investors just yesterday. So don't continue to use the Finsac argument as a narrative when you take taxpayers' money and spend so much on Finsac and you still can't produce nothing to the public, but you still use the Finsac argument. How convenient. Do you think this, after what you and Nigel do to the economy and people are realize it's going to be any talking point for you? Want to tell we say the report ready, and then when you don't give a report, you sweep it on that desk. When you take the country's money and spend to produce this report, and we still cannot get a report, and you take money same way you go give university to study the Finsac archives. Make it make sense. Naming a finance minister is the most important thing in our government at the moment. Naming a finance minister who will be taking over from Nigel Clark is what you ought to be doing at the moment. Running around with the Finsac argument really don't cut it and it not sell a shop anymore. Because if you're not going to talk about Finsac and not going to use it as political narrative and can't speak the truth, then leave it alone and move on. As I think the country not to waste no time on Finsac because we waste enough money and it don't produce nothing. Move on. Move on. I want to same one in a court a fight to seal the SSL report. I want to same one in a court a fight to seal the SSL report. What are you hiding in SSL and Finsac? If SSL and Finsac do put you in a very bad light, why are you hiding those reports? Particular Finsac want to use all the while and talk about how the PNP era destroyed the economy. I don't understand it, but Ralston Hyman understand it. And Ralston Hyman said, no, it don't go so. So me have to trust the word of the expert over a novice and a liar prime minister. It is as simple as that. You have to trust the word of the expert above the liar and the novice. And you have proven time and time after prime minister that you are the whole of them in a one. Christopher Columbus, come back to Jamaica. Jamaica tell me say this real. Christopher Columbus, come back to Jamaica. Jamaica, where the past screen real? Where Andrew Holness and Arbin Hill say telling us say, them a go a Christopher Columbus go look one company for brand Jamaica's international image. After all, Christopher Columbus discovered us swinging in tree and eating each other. Why then shouldn't, if Jamaica popped down and broke down, shouldn't we go back to Spain to find a company to find a consulting company to fix Jamaica's international brand? Christopher Columbus is carrying out the rebranding of Jamaica's international image. When you don't go walk and talk, you say me, sister, see it past screen there, if we're not confused, ask the Gleaner. If the Gleaner can't explain it to you, ask the Prime Minister and Arbin Hill. Don't ask me. Me not in the mix-up. Christopher Columbus, you know. I mean, the Spanish, hallelujah. The Spanish who discovered us swinging in tree and eating each other are the same people the Prime Minister has sought to rebrand us. Hey, boy, Lord Jesus. I wonder if them realize that Europe are broke down. Europe mash up. Europe don't have no culture. It's true. Europe don't have no culture. Them just borrow here, borrow there, stitch it up there. Say, Europe culture coming like a patch batty pants. Europe culture is like a patch batty pants. But Andrew Holness say, they telling us say, Imaga Spain, where Christopher Columbus come from, figure get one consulting company to rebrand Jamaica's international image. So, when you know that Jamaica international image going white, 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 eh? If this is what it comes to, because we taxpayer, we don't understand how to portray our Jamaica and the international scene. There's nobody in Jamaica qualified to fix Jamaica's international image. After the Prime Minister and him thieving wife mash it up, Jamaica international image never need fixing until we have a corrupt dictator in parliament. Jamaica has always had good international image before Andrew Holness. It's good that you want to try to fix it after you mash it up. But why you never come to we to fix it? Why you going to Christopher Columbus? Why the hell you gone to Christopher Columbus? So are you saying Christopher Columbus are go draw we back into himself and turn we back into unpaid slave? Because that's all Christopher Columbus know about, you know, sir. That's all Christopher Columbus know about. Is how to kill we, whip we, and make we work free for him. What else you know Christopher Columbus used to do, sir? That's you gone all the way to Christopher Columbus to look brand international branding for Jamaica. Oh, we will live there. Don't know how we want Jamaica to look abroad. Jamaica look good abroad in a Prime Minister. It has always been, despite the violence and them thing there. But since you come, we parliament now not standing anymore, or integrity bodies, or bodies of a public accountability. Them not standing anymore. The conflict of interest in our parliament, Prime Minister, where you and your wife take over. And them something that damage the image of Jamaica. Jamaica is well sought after on the international level when it comes to culture, music, tourism, food, and all the such like the people, the language. It's well sought after. The problem is you lot. I don't know if you understand that the problem is you lot. Anywhere you go in this world, Bolt and Bob Marley and reggae music is recognized. We have good standing on the international scene. What we don't have good standing with is Stephen corrupt, lying, mistrusting politicians. And that create a bad look for Jamaica on the international scene. How we politician them in a WikiLeaks document and in a America diplomatic cable involving a gang, involving an illegal importation of drugs and firearm. A unknown prime minister make we country look bad. So no come blame me pan we. Don't come blame it pan we. Please, I beg, don't come blame it pan we. We don't know where you come from with them something. We don't know who dream to you at night time and tell you these anarchy story where you keep approaching us with. How will you get back to the Spanish them you? Them find we and them gone left. We make we survive pan we won't know. How you get back around there, so? That I go back to Christopher Columbus and say we have forgotten what you taught us. We want you to come back and show us how to make ourselves look good to the world. Seriously, Andrew Holness? I mean, of all the persons and the countries, Spain Prime Minister, Spain Prime Minister, you would even look at English country. Spain. You know, the Christopher Columbuses. So, when you say, Jamaica now fix for we. Jamaica fix for market to a European audience. Jamaica now audience to we anymore. Jamaica audience to Europe and the Samoa agreement and them Canada affiliation and them batty selling. And this will go, how Spain getting at this? Of all the country in the world, Spain. Have you ever heard of Spain and Portugal, how them two countries they're racist? I mean, all of the European countries them racist, but have you ever heard of the Spanish and the Portuguese? Look across the Caribbean. The Spanish and the Portuguese and across the Caribbean and South America. Them start the brutality before Britain, you know. I wonder if Andrew Holness pick up a book since he's born. Spain. Spain. All the way there. I mean, over there. Huh? You would even go to Ireland. Make it say you can't talk to black people. You would even go to Ireland, or Britain, or Canada, or America. Make America go show you how to walk on Nyam, Iridium, how to walk on Nyam backside, how to drink oil, how to goggle gas, and how to drink blood of innocent women and children. Why you never go to America to teach you the glory of the international pussery? What is happening in our country? What is happening in our country? Jamaica don't have no institution. Jamaica don't have no cultural icons or whatever that can brand Jamaica's image. What will university them a teach all these time then they sit down and look? The same way the Andrew Holness go sign deal with the India, go sign memorandum of understanding with the Indian them. So Bollywood come tell Jamaica's story. What about Nollywood? Have you not seen the brilliant storytelling coming out of Nollywood in Nigeria? Have you not? I mean, this man is really, really, sticking us where it hurts. Me not understand that man, yeah. Me not understand that man, yeah. Andrew asks Bollywood, what I'm doing? Andrew asks Bollywood to come tell our story. Out of Bollywood and Nollywood, who would understand our culture, Andrew Holness, and who would tell our story best? Andrew Holness. This guy is crazy. Why you gone back a racist people to come ask them to rebrand Jamaica. Jamaica don't need rebranding. Jamaica need you to resign. Or Jamaica need a general election. That's what Jamaica really need. Over the last 8 years, particularly in the last 4 years, you have been really a burden to the country's image, Prime Minister. You have been a burden to the country's image in the last 8 years, but particularly in the last 4. What is wrong with this guy? How we get here, so? Ask Spanish people to rebrand Jamaica's international image. You mean to say after so much years of independence, we want to just celebrate as so we don't? That we are to go back to racist Spain to rebrand Jamaica's international image? Isn't this crazy? If this not sounds crazy or this not sound like we've failed, we have failed because we've gone back to the slave master again, even to give us an image. I mean, the same slave master will give us the white Jesus and all of them every day, you know. It's the same slave master we're gone back to and say, slave master, the image you left us with has been damaged. Will you assist us in the rebranding of our image so we can look white enough on the international scene, whiter than snow? Wholeness, whiter than snow. Take us to Spain and make us whiter than snow. Because this is what the Jamaican Prime Minister is doing. Look like him want to make us whiter than snow. Because what you think white people are going to do other than tell us to be like them? Hey, Jesus. Why? We in a problem. Big old a problem. We may not recognize, but we're in a big problem. Let's move on to them say Haiti and Kenya in a shootout, and one of the 80 gang leader gets shot. So them say, me no know. Let's go to Beauty and the Beast. Good morning, Beauty. If Lisa Hannah pretty one more time, our prettiness spoil. But to the workers of the tourist sector in Jamaica, another British woman in Britain here is standing up for you. I've come across her video on TikTok and I will play it for you in hope that you may understand that people abroad are stand up for Uno Jamaica while Uno can't stand up for us. What on the foot? Uno need them weak? What wobbly knee have you got, Jamaica? How Jamaica knee has become so wobbly that we can't stand up anymore. That's even Master Pickney them see the need to stand up. Philly.
Where all the staff have just said, fuck this, I'm off. It really needs to be a lesson to, I think, particularly Western people when it comes to booking holidays. Because your luxury holiday where you sit there for 7 to 14 nights, being waited on hand and foot, having your cocktails brought to you on your little privatised beach, are being brought to you by people who are being exploited, people who are being paid $2 an hour on a privatised beach that was taken away from local people, all in the interests of greed and money. This has been happening for decades and it's the locals who suffer. Every time a hotel's built and a beach is privatised, it takes away business, it takes away a part of the island for locals to enjoy. Imagine one day in England, you go to take your kids to the park, and when you get there, it's all fenced off and you're not allowed to go there because some fat greedy bastard from another country has decided he wanted that and he's going to profit off it. But the thing is, a lot of people don't care because they're so fucking selfish. No, it doesn't affect me, I don't care. Well, you'll care now because it's affecting you, and I hope this sets a precedent, and I hope other people do it as well because it needs to happen. People need to be made aware of their actions because you are contributing to the exploitation of people. You're contributing to colonisation. What's currently happening?
I hope Jamaicans can see the need that even the tourists them will come, they can enjoy themselves, are seen and saying that you, the people of Jamaica, you are being exploited. You are being paid slave labor for doing very hard work and making people feel good, comfortable, well served, and happy. But your take home pay is pitiful. And they are saying, she's saying in short, we don't need to do more of this so people can be aware in the tourist industry. Some of these British people, no, this is how British people stay. Them will stop, come at them hotel there, and just come and stop a Airbnb and all them something there because they don't want to join into the exploitation of the Jamaica people through the international hotel them will operate in our country. So more and more, I will send it beat and teach. More and more people internationally are becoming aware of how Jamaicans are being exploited at home. I guarantee you at some point some of these British tourists will start react by making sure that when them has come to Jamaica, them don't stay in these resorts that exploit the people, but them stay where them can spend them money locally with people. Because a lot of tourists don't really enjoy the catch up in these big resorts where they make sure them do it that way they make sure the tourist dollar can spend in the wider sector of the Jamaica economy. It can only spend with all master picnic them. Let us go to Beauty and the Beast. And if you don't want to hit the like button, you know, the Zelle and the PayPal is stick up in the top. You know, can do the very best up there. Don't know how it go. Beauty and the Beast. Now, the Beast, we need to understand that the way how this beast is running our parliament, it is a threat to our democracy. And the first should do it. Make fine snippet of the first video. I may go play it for you. She and Angela Brownberg. Then we're going to go to she and Lisa.
Let's say, for example, a special report is tabled on the matter that the country is waiting to hear, the illicit six. That would come to the House and go
on a point of order, I do not know of what you're speaking, member. I don't know. Please remove that comment. Please remove that comment. That comment is inappropriate, doesn't belong in the House, and is not included in any document submitted in this honorable House. Please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That comment is nowhere anything in the House, she said. Hold on, let me fix back, man. I go along in here. Put me in a one round circle on this screen. StreamYard have some new ways of setting yourself. Anyway, bear with me. Just try out some new play thing. You know, TikTok create some dolly hosts we play with. So we have to play with the dolly hosts them. But when Juliet said that, just like her husband, when him said things, it was a lie. When Juliet said there's no report in this house with anything of that where you talk about, I don't know where you talk about, she said. It was a lie. It wasn't true. because the 2022-2023 report state the illicit the six MP who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. The 2023-2024 report further restate that, as well as an additional 2. So when people talk about illicit enrichment, people are not making it off the top of their head or talking about something that is not being spoken about in an official capacity. It is actually in the integrity report, tabled in Parliament twice, Miss Holness. Twice. But you claim to say, you know, I don't know what you talk about, can't she? Those are danger to our democracy, where Juliet Holness regularly shut down and stifle debate when she sees as something will affect she and her husband or the party. She regularly stifled the debate. It was the same way when the Nigel Clark report, the 2 report came for FAC and Tax Administration of Jamaica. Juliet Holland panned the report for almost 2 months, lying, talking about Attorney General advice, Parliamentary Council advice, and the laws and the rules support her. Everything Juliet said was a lie. Even the Attorney General advice, which she said supported her, all of that was a lie. To continue to use these lies to manipulate our parliament, to stifle debate and questions in our parliament, it's a danger to our democracy. That is very dangerous. And she did it again on Tuesday.
And Southeast.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thought you don't know me by now, though. I think one of the most interesting experiences I have had in my years as a member of Parliament was seeing when a group, 2 people, stuff an entire cow into a pro box. No, it's a serious something. No.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Tap up the screen and you
so you have to
TikTok,
get to
please.
the question. So this is the section when you are no longer allowed to make speeches, as would have been done by the member who speaks as the individual.
But you're taking up my time,
responding. No, it's my duty to do so.
All right.
And it is your duty to get to the question.
Got you. My 2 questions are these, Madam Speaker. And I never thought I would get here, but...
Boy, when Lisa angry, Lisa pretty. Imagine that, Juliet. All when Lisa angry, Lisa pretty.
Veterinary services, private veterinary services, Minister, offer the insertion into dogs and to cats a chip. And I remember years ago. And what happens is that chip, you can read it, it's put here. The question I have for you, as a part of your predial larceny plan and strategy, is it that you will provide, or does RADA or the Ministry of Agriculture have the ability or the hope to provide this kind of technology to livestock? Because from my experience, it is mainly livestock that is stolen as a part of predial larceny. The pigs, the goats, the cows, and other livestock, not mainly vegetables. If I may be permitted, Madam Speaker, to ask a second question. Thank you so much. Much obliged. My second question is, I know the geography of most parishes, and based on how RADA is set up, extension officers have to traverse sometimes 2 parishes.
Member, so all of what you said before is not a question. And it is one of the things that we have to do better at. We have to get to the question.
And I notice you're a little impatient today, Madam Speaker, because normally you're not this impatient.
So the leeway member allows too much vacillating.
I hear you. I'm not vacillating.
And therefore, I am asking members to think about their question and get straight.
You know that she don't realize that Lisa shades her, insult her, or whatever. When Lisa said to you, Juliet, it was an insult. You may not understand it to be so. When Lisa said to you, I notice you're a bit impatient today. You're not normally like that. She tell you, say, you take a problem when you belong yaso, control down yaso. And that Lisa did tell you, I don't know if you understand. That's what she was really saying to you. But as you always, things always fly over your head, isn't it?
To the question. Going forward, it is really one of the hallmarks of responsible behavior that we would love to have in the House. So, member, think about the question and then get straight to the question, member.
I'll try and be as responsible as possible.
And I must tell you, the member from St. Anne Southeast is not as irresponsible as many other members. So it is rough that the example is being marked down now. But once persons continuously, which you have been doing, members, abuse the opportunity to ask questions and make statements, and it is regularly done, there is going to come a time when the Speaker will have to hold you strong and directly to the rules. So, members,
I'm the scapegoat.
The question.
Madam Speaker. And it's fine.
Go ahead, member.
So, Minister, the second question that I have for you is, in your mandate to deal with Pradio last night, since you have made so many arrests, and I'm trying to frame this question because
Lisa angry,
the context has to do with violence that is already existing with some of the farmers that just take matters into their own hands. I'll leave it there. I can speak to my constituency in particular. What mechanism will you have in place, therefore, to ensure that if you have these farmers with watches kind of
crap it out later,
and the training for wardens, is there any physical tools, i.e. bullhorns, i.e. motorcycles? What is it that they can, because once another car comes from Clarendon, for example, over to St. Anne, by the time the police get there from Claremont, they are gone.
The next question comes to us from St. Andrew South, opposition leader, and the
You see what we're talking about? The shutting down of our democratic process, where Juliet, I got tell we say, you cannot give context, because I don't know what Lisa was asking, say, because she was blocked from giving the background to the question that she wanted to pose. So I don't understand what Lisa was asking. But this was because the wife of the Prime Minister thinks our honorable house belonged to her. And ever since the Prime Minister put her up on Miss Thomas' chair, Juliet Holness has been doing some silly things. Very, very silly things. The position of Speaker of the House required somebody with legal knowledge. It's a job that you have to understand the law, not just having a grade 4 understanding of the law, but understand the technicalities of the law and how you read standing order in line with the Constitution or a piece of legislation, as well as observing what is called the customs of our parliamentary system. Do not have a legal force behind them, but what they are normal practices that we all accept and use. Fan Juliet come. That's how I know Juliet is Donald Trump, because that was one of Donald Trump behavior in some principles in the American Constitution, because he knows that the customary things within the Constitution that doesn't have a legal force behind it, but everybody accept it to be the norm and follow the rules. Donald Trump try him way to malign himself around those things in order to do him chopping and changing of things. It is the same approach by Juliet Holness since she became speaker. She really don't understand the rules of that chair. And both parties in Jamaica also do not understand that the person sitting in that chair ought not to hold a constituency seat. The minute you appoint a speaker to that chair, they must resign from the constituency and somebody else takes up the seat. The Speaker of the House is meant to be a neutral job. Yes, you can have your party affiliation and party alignment, because the Speaker of the House is always chosen from the winning or the governing party. But under the Westminster system of governance, once a speaker is appointed, then the speaker must resign its constituency and solely becomes the speaker of our house. Juliet Holness doesn't have that understanding. As I said before, as pickpocketed as Marissa Dalrymple Filbert was, Marissa Dalrymple Filbert was qualified for that role. She's an attorney. She understands the law. But from Madam Housewife come, Madam Housewife just a cheat we like we're our picnic. We must agree to whatever she says and does. And then see your husband, after you and your husband take the country, mash it up. So now go to Spain. We now go to Christopher Columbus. Go look somebody to come fix Jamaica international image. After you, Andrew and Juliet, mash up with international image, you know. Oh no, I got to take few taxpayer money. Our taxpayer money, them I got to take and go fix something there for themselves. Fix Jamaica image. You never hear something go so yet? And them take it and mash it up, you know. And we have to go pay to fix it back. Wanna see how it go? Them take it and mash it up, but we must pay to fix it back. You couldn't make this up in any other country unless you are in Jamaica. Jamaica alone you can get away with what our leaders get away with. It's just the truth. It is just the truth. But thank you all for being here with us this morning on the At a Glance program. Join us back this evening, where we will continue to look at the issues that plague our country. Thank you, and good afternoon, good morning from the Global Television Group.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and I resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the year, look at you. Use the youth, the money, waste, and must have man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but me got enough, they got you. Take this script of money, God, and say that is not you. One day, the man above end up, him, I got stop it. Too much eating at the kitchen, some of fiber like a pot too. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% free.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption peace.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and I resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, the rapper, they down in our river. Member bowl honey and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
Or them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't